The Army turns 250 years old while Democrats riot and protest around the country. Senator Lindsey Graham calls for the U.S. to go all in against Iran. Plus, David Hogg is out at the DNC. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to the 13-minute news hour. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with a huge birthday celebration over the weekend. Yes, Trump turned 79, but the Army turned 250 years old. That's right. Our Army has been around longer than our country. And on Saturday, Americans celebrated this great fighting force with a massive parade in Washington, D.C. It was an incredible display of military might, not just with the presence of large tanks and other vehicles, but also from new technology such as drones and robot dogs.
This is all going to play a big role in protecting our troops in future conflicts. I mean, if you look at, for instance, the Ukraine-Russian war, 70% of all attacks right now are from drone technology. So showing some of that tech is important. I mean, we've got, new first generation, next generation fighter jets that apparently are even going to have drone wingmen a part of our Air Force. So we're going to see a lot more of that in the future. And when you think about some of the technology and military capability that was displayed today, a lot of it is about projecting strength to our adversaries. This is meant to be a deterrent to potential adversaries and reassure allies that we've got this commitment to our own defense. And
the parade included fireworks as well as speeches. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was in attendance, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, and of course, President Trump, who said that other countries celebrate their victories, and America should too.
The Army keeps us free, you make us strong, and tonight you have made all Americans very proud. They're watching from all over the world, actually. Made them all very proud. Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
At the same time that Americans turned out to celebrate the Army's birthday, protests were organized around the country under the No Kings theme. That's right, the same Democrats who manipulated the primaries to shield Joe Biden and then dispensed with the primary elections altogether to install Kamala Harris are claiming that Trump is a dictator and yes, that he's destroying democracy. These are the same talking points used during the 2024 elections, and the Democrats were blown out. Apparently, they have become so radical that they can't even think straight anymore. They are doubling down on their same failed sound bites. The anti-ICE riots also show a stunning disconnect between Democrats and radical leftists and the rest of America.
In major cities across the country, protests erupting. Demonstrations from coast to coast. Like in New York.
What do we do? Stand up like that. No somos bien.
With people storming the streets. Or this neighborhood outside Phoenix.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Thousands demonstrating against ICE raids.
No one's illegal!
And in some places, clashes giving way to vandalism and looting.
Incredible. While the left promotes anarchy, violence, looting, property destruction, and attacks on law enforcement officials, they also scream that democracy is being destroyed. The American people overwhelmingly support the deportation of illegal aliens, especially those with other criminal records. ICE is sent in to get them, and the left takes to the streets to support the criminals, waving Mexican flags in the process. And of course, the media are going out of their way to downplay the violence and destruction.
Large group of people, it could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
Yep, just having fun watching cars burn. It's ridiculous, but the Democrats and left are out of control And as long as they continue to be on the side of criminals and against law and order, they will continue to lose. Next, let's talk about the fallout from Israel's attack against Iran. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, regardless of platform, just search out my name, hit that subscribe button, make sure notifications are turned on. That way you can follow the show and help us grow. Next, let's talk about Senator Lindsey Graham and the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran. As you know, in a surprise move, Israel attacked military and nuclear sites inside Iran, destroying major facilities and taking out both military and scientific leaders. The stated reason, of course, is because Iran is on the verge of having a nuclear weapon. Yes, this would be a serious development, but it seems like media reports of Iran being on the verge of a nuclear bomb have been going on as long as reports of polar ice caps completely melting away. Over the weekend, multiple stories were printed regarding Iran and the development of nuclear arms. Back in April, Reuters ran a story on the same topic. Last year, the Washington Post ran a story about Iran edging closer to weapons capability. Go back to 2012, and Reuters has a story about Israel claiming Iran has made, quote, significant and surprising progress toward military nuclear capability, end quote. But now, Israel has acted, and people like Senator Lindsey Graham want to use the attack as a reason for the U.S. to join in.
If diplomacy is not successful and we left with the option of force, I would urge President Trump to go all in to make sure that when this operation is over, there's nothing left standing in Iran regarding their nuclear program. If that means providing bombs, provide bombs. If that means flying,
busting bombs,
whatever bombs. If it means flying with Israel, fly with Israel. The worst possible outcome for the world is to take the Iranian nuclear program on and leave it standing. That will be a disaster.
Iran has fired back with missiles and has hit targets inside Israel. And the exchange has brought out some interesting comments from different sides of the Republican Party. In a post on X, Tucker Carlson writes, "The real divide isn't between people who support Israel and people who support Iran or the Palestinians. The real divide is between those who casually encourage violence and those who seek to prevent it, between warmongers and peacemakers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anyone who's calling Donald Trump today to demand airstrikes and other direct U.S. military involvement in a war with Iran. On that list, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, Ike Perlman, and Miriam Adelson." Now, as you can imagine, that post caused quite a few people to go ballistic. Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer responded to the Carlson post by writing, "I've known Tucker for 25 years when he co-hosted an MSNBC show with Paul Begala. Tucker doesn't have a consistent thought in his head except self-promotion. He's a phony. Watch him here advocate to destroy Iran. Now he's saying that's a warmonger. He's a modern carnival barker." Fox News' Mark Levin, who was called out in Carlson's post, wrote on X that people like Carlson, who claim to be MAGA leaders, are a, quote, cabal of reprobates, dumb as they come and dangerous as hell, end quote. So, where do you come down? President Trump has been negotiating with Iran, but now Israel has taken action. It's Israel's war, not ours. If Iran attacks us, we will respond, and we have in the past. But this major offensive by Israel was carried out by Israel, and we can't be drawn into another conflict just because one of our allies went on the offensive and now wants our help. Meanwhile, people like Lindsey Graham are ready to go all in, whatever that means. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Next, David Hogg is out from his leadership position with the Democrat National Committee, and it appears that the entire Democrat Party is in disarray. Now, prior to Hogg's ousting, a leadership call was arranged with DNC Chairman Ken Martin and a small group of officials, including David Hogg, in which Martin lamented the fact that Hogg is killing Martin's chances of being a good leader.
I deeply respect you, David. I too was looking forward to working with you, but this has created a situation, and I'll be very honest with you, for the first time in my 100 days on this job, and Jessica knows this, I The other night I said to myself for the first time, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. You essentially destroyed any chance I have to show the leadership that I need to. So it's really frustrating.
What a strange call. It sounds like Martin was about to cry, but I guess that's the result when David Hogg joins the team. As it turns out, Hogg was too toxic for the leadership. Hogg was working with groups to bring $20 million to go after moderate Democrats in the primaries. In the new Democrat Party, only the radical can survive. Here's a report from The Hill.
This caps months-long party infighting that the Gen Zer set off after he declared his group, Leaders We Deserve, would be shelling out $20 million to primary Democratic incumbents. The party has been furious with Hogg, to say the least. They leaned into a technicality to push him out based on DNC rules. The executive committee must be gender diverse. Pollster Nate Silver reacted, posting, quote, "This is Olympic-level DNCing. You can't DNC any harder than this."
David Hogg is not the only one who is out at the DNC. Radical Teachers Union boss Randi Weingarten is dropping her leadership position as well. Weingarten did not support Martin during the chairman election, and rather than continue to butt heads, Weingarten is hitting the road. The question now is, where do Democrats go from here? It's clear that the party is owned by the radical left, but where does that leave party operatives who want to grow the base through more mainstream policies? It seems like the issues Democrats gravitate toward are just more of the same: riots, violence, anti-Trump rhetoric, and gross mismanagement of cities and states. So Hogg is out, but you can bet he won't disappear. And next, here's some rapid-fire headlines from around the country. First, for the first time in 50 years, the country is on track to post a negative number regarding net migration. This means that this year, it is estimated that more people will leave the country than arrive. As reported by the Washington Post, quote, economists at 2 Washington think tanks expect President Donald Trump's immigration policies to drive this reversal. From the near total shutdown of the southern border to threats to international students and the loss of legal status for many new arrivals, according to a forthcoming paper, a rise in deportations, the aim of recent workplace raids that triggered protests in Los Angeles and other cities also plays a role, end quote. Yes, I think a rise in deportations could certainly turn things around from Biden's open borders policies. Next, the website CrimeThink is a website that, according to the Gateway Pundit, pushes out anti-capitalist, anti-cop, anti-American agenda. Now, the site has created a list of 7 steps to stop ICE. The guide, quote, encourages the formation of tight-knit resistance groups to map ICE's infrastructure, publicize its vulnerabilities, and impose consequences on communities cooperating with federal agents. They advocate setting up rapid response networks to spread verified reports of ICE activity, pressuring local politicians to obstruct immigration enforcement, and fostering a, quote, culture of resistance, end quote, that could easily spiral into violence. And finally, another municipality has moved to remove fluoride from drinking water. Madison, Alabama's Utilities Board voted unanimously to stop adding the chemical to the city's water treatment process. The board said the decision was made because of concerns of employees' health and safety, and because of the way the added chemicals impacted their treatment facilities. The acid used to adjust the amounts of fluoride in the water affected Madison Utilities by saying that the acid caused structural degradation to the facilities, leading to ongoing maintenance costs. Madison had been adding fluoride to the water for the last 34 years. Friends, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Our next show will be Monday evening at the usual time. Until then, I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.